some of you may have noticed that I did not play the Teach Hanley commercial on the beginning of this live stream. One of the reasons that I did not play the Teach Hanley commercial on the beginning of this live stream is because I had a conversation with the Teach Hanley reps over the weekend, and I told them, I said, the price of the brick just went up. I did the Marlowe on them. I said the price of the brick has went up. The way that we had structured our initial deals, and this actually leads right into the whole conversation about me being de-Lapeefed, right? Or depeefed. You know how they say debriefed, depeefed? The way that we had structured the deal, Teach Hanley had reached out to us separately. So the Lapeef network had a Teach Hanley deal. I had a completely separate Teach Hanley deal. And me being the loyal brother that I am, I said, listen, I'm not going to do a separate thing, right? We're going to combine forces, and regardless of how much I promote and I sell, or regardless of what happens over there at the Lapeef network, we going to make sure that we bust this bag down together, right? We're not going to separate it. And so all of the bags, in most instances, I split it with my brothers, right? That's how I do it, right? The way that I do it is, and anybody that's ever worked for me personally, now the contracts that happen over there is completely different than what it is that I do with my people. Anybody that's ever rocked with me on Fight Club, anybody that's ever rocked with me on the Anton Daniels channel, anybody that I've ever brought in for an interview, they can say a lot of things about what my views are towards running in the Victim Olympics and things like that. But the one thing that they will never, ever be able to say is that Anton is not absolutely positively a team player, and that he makes sure that everybody eats, B. Everybody eat, B. And so what I did was I said, listen, we're not going to split it up. We're going to use the same link, and we're going to bust this bag down together. Now, the price of the brick is absolutely different now, right? So we going back to the table. We have some additional sponsors that's waiting in the wings, and we're going to renegotiate the deal because I am going to move completely separate on my own, which leads me into the conversation. And thank y'all for the super chats. I'm definitely going to be reading those shortly, which leads me into the conversation, right? When we first started Lapeef, right? Well, let me revise that. When I first started getting involved with the Lapeef network, okay? When I first started getting involved with the Lapeef network, and what you see right here is one of the early episodes, right? Is one of the early episodes. And what you see here is JR, me, Tawana, and B Nix. This was basically the original crew. Now, Lapeef Network started off on Facebook, and it was like a couple of episodes, and it was JR, B Nix, or not the Lapeef Network, Lapeef Let's Talk. It was JR, B Nix, and it was another guy, and I forgot the other guy's name. But they was all like just sitting at a table, and it was like one or two episodes, and they like had a Facebook group and everything like that, right? And basically what happened was they just had a couple of different things, and it just was what it was. I was popping. I had just had a video that went viral on YouTube. I had just got a video that went viral on YouTube. As a matter of fact, it was one of the highest, not anymore, but at the time, it was one of the highest viewed videos on YouTube. And it had been basically about me breaking down my life, what was going on. It was a gambling video, and so I was breaking down a high roller lifestyle. So way before any of the Lapeef Network or Millionaire Morning Show or anything like that, I was living his life, right? I was breaking down, and I was showing y'all on, private planes and traveling different places and the type of money I was spending and the bags that I was busting down. And I went viral because I was basically communicating to people what it took in order to reach certain levels within the gambling industry and the type of people and different types of rich people and stuff like that. Now, that video did like 1.7 million views. And then I had another video that went viral right before that, and it did like 700,000 immediately on YouTube. So I had ascended to where I had got like 50,000, like 50 something thousand subscribers by the time that video had went off. Now, I had been making other videos, urban explorations. I was buying motorcycles, Jeeps. I had started working on a restaurant. And JR had hit me up. He had hit me up on Instagram, right? And so he reached out to me and he like, yo, fam, I like your Jeep. I got a Jeep too. I'm from Chicago, whatever. And so we just kind of naturally started going back and forth and having different conversations. And so we was on the phone together. I was pouring into him. And I was adding a lot of value into his life. And I was trying to give him the game on social media and how to manage certain businesses. And he had certain ideas that he wanted to go over and so on and so forth. And I'm like, cool. So we just kind of started having a genuine conversation. And this is how me and JR met. He DM'd me. We started talking on Instagram. He wanted me to check out what it was that he had going on Facebook. So I checked out Facebook, and that's when, I discovered what he was trying to build, or, a couple of episodes of him, B Nix, and the other guy just talking around the table, having a conversation, right? And then he was like, yo, why don't you show up I don't know if he invited me to show up on an episode, or I'm like, yo, I'll turn up if you want me to. If you need me to, I'll turn this mug out, right? But anyways, he brought me on, and I just showed up. You know what I'm saying? I just did it on the fly, just on some love type junk. I already knew I had a following. I already knew what I was doing. I already knew what the direction of what my life was going in. And so I turned up. But we were streaming it exclusively on Facebook, right? In the Facebook group. So I immediately caused a wave. Like because, I was very controversial. I was very matter of fact. The same way that I am now is how I was on that. And it upset a lot of the women and the feminists that was in the group and all of that, but it was a hit. Like, you could see that it was a hit, right? B Nix was on there, JR was on there, and there was another girl. And then later we brought Tawana on there. And then I was like, yo, we need to get away from this Facebook shit. We need to be focused on YouTube. And JR was like, well, I don't know if we want to alienate the Facebook people. And I told him straight up, I said, yo, if the Facebook people really rock with you like that, then they'll follow us over to YouTube, but we just gonna do this YouTube thing exclusively, right? So that's a general idea of the breakdown of what basically it was when we first started creating this thing, right? So we just organically got together. We did it on YouTube. I dedicated myself, in which I never, ever, ever missed a Thursday. Through all of the different things that happened. Different people left. B Nix was like, yo, I just wanted to come in and show some love. This is not a long-term thing for me now. I don't want it to affect what I got going on in corporate America or academia, whatever. So he decided, he dipping. And throughout the history of it, we just made a bond, and we was like, listen, no matter what happens, if we beef, if we get into it, the different people that's going to come and go, we still got us. Like, all we need is us to make sure that we continue to build this thing. And so that was the objective. And now a lot of you guys are familiar with the history of it. Different people came, different people gone. A lot of people, came in for the wrong reasons. Some people came in for the right reasons. And we made history. There's a lot of people that I don't believe even would even exist, or you would have visibility into, if you have never known what it was that we did, right? So we made history, right? Monetized. I remember at one point, it was during a mirror stream on a Sunday, and JR hit me up and he said, yo, we got a problem, right? And I'm like, what's going on? We lost the channel. This is facts. We lost the channel, right? A lot of y'all remember it. Some of y'all was around, some of y'all wasn't. And I said, oh man. So we went through this campaign. He was very emotional about it. I was very emotional about it, because this was our baby. This was something that we had built together, and we had lost the channel because somebody had came up during a live stream and they had like flashed or did some kind of, whatever inappropriate stuff. And immediately it was like a hit, and immediately the channel went down. And so, we went on a campaign, and that's where the Lapeef Experience channel came from, because that was actually JR's personal channel. It was like his vlogging channel. But then I was like, listen, and this is honest to God truth. I'm just giving y'all a little bit of insight of what goes on behind the scenes and how dedicated that I was and how dedicated we were into building the brand, right? So when we lost the channel, I didn't trip. I said, listen, both of my channels was approaching 100,000 subscribers, both this and the Millionaire Morning Show and the Anton Daniels channel was getting to the point to where they both were eclipsing 100,000 subscribers on both of them. And the Lapeef network at that time, I think it was at like 70 something or something like that. And I said, listen, don't worry about it. And he said, what do you mean? I said, don't worry about it. I said, worst case scenario, what we'll do is I will give you my channel. I will give you one of my channels. This is 100% facts. I said, worst case scenario, I'm so dedicated to making sure that you successful, because I always know that anything I touch is going to be gold. I was willing to make the sacrifice. I was willing to be the bad guy. I was willing to say the unpopular thing in order to create the entertainment. I was willing to get it popping. And it was authentically what I really felt, but it was the things that people were unwilling to say or talk about because they were so worried about their image, right? And so I did what it took in order to make sure that we successful, right? And I said, listen, if anything happened, I will give my channel and we will rebrand it over to the new Lapeef Let's Talk or the new Lapeef Network, and you can have it. This is 100% facts. 100% facts. I was willing to do anything it took. Eat, sleep, breathe, prioritize, made sure that the brand was what it was, right? Here's the thing, right? A lot of people want this to be a negative thing. And the reason why I went through the history of it is because there's a lot of new people that have now came into the fold, and they just now discovering the channel, and they know about all of the just pearly things and stuff like that. And they think it's that, right? They think it's that. They don't know that I was driving, or I went over into Chicago during COVID in order to build with them. They don't know that. They don't know that I was really over there, right? They don't know the different wars and the things that we went through and the different conversations and all of that, right? They don't know the dedication that I put into me personally. And I can't speak for nobody else. They don't know the dedication of what it took in order for us to make sure that the loyalty, the love, right? When we first started making money on that channel, I said, yo, I don't need nothing. Not a payment anyways. The business side of it is completely different. But as far as like paying me versus making sure that everybody was looked out for, I don't need nothing. Right? Loyalty, dedication, love, the whole 9 yards, right? Now, obviously, we split responsibilities, and I'm not going into the business side of it. But I only went through all of that just to show you or give you a little bit of insight and information on the history behind what it was that we built together. Right? We built this from the ground up through thick and thin. We wound up getting the channel back. We revamped the other channel, that's the Lapeef Experience now. That's, it is what it is went its own direction. We started giving people different platforms and all of that, right? Now, let's get into the thing that y'all really want to know, or that y'all really inquiring about. Because I even see it's, coming up in the chat. Is there beef? Absolutely, positively not. Never has been, never will be at all. It's 100% a business decision. 100%. I have no animosity whatsoever. Let me tell you how it came about. I'm in the Dominican Republic, and we chilling. And being out of the country and being, in a different space kind of puts you in this zone where you get to making sure that everything is aligned according to the direction of your life. And more than a month and a half ago, maybe almost 2 months ago, right? I had made the decision that I wanted to move on from being on panels because I had dedicated my life to it. I had done it for over 3 years, unmissed, building a platform, working behind the scenes, making sure everything is taken care of on the business side. Um, all of that, right? I dedicated my entire life. I was willing to give up my own channel when we had lost that channel in order to continue the vision and the growth of what it was that we originally thought that this thing could be. It was time for me to move on to bigger things, right? I started getting different opportunities, the whole 9 yards, right? It is what it is. It was time to move on. So, when I'm in the Dominican Republic, obviously, we talking about different stuff and we talking about business. And I don't talk about business as it relates to Lapeef Network, even with my Patreon members, right? When I break down and I show y'all what I make and I show y'all the business side or whatever, I don't talk about Fight Club business. I don't talk about Lapeef business. I don't talk about don't do coke in the bathroom. I only show y'all what it is that I singularly generate. So when I'm in the Dominican Republic, we on the phone and we talk about different business stuff. And okay, this person is not going to be streaming, or this person is going to be streaming tonight or whatever. And so I just broached the conversation and I said, yo, we need to talk about, what it is what's the next vision? What is it that we doing going forward? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in a different space, or I'm looking at it this way, right? And then you got your vision for how it is that you see it because it's your name attached to it, even though we built it together. So we need to figure this thing out. And so we talked for about 15, 20 minutes. And again, it wasn't no kind of beef or nothing like that. It was just genuinely conversation. And I just made the decision, like, listen, I made the decision. I said, listen, it's time for me to just move on. It's time to go in a different direction. Now, why am I telling y'all this right now? I'm telling you this because it's a way that you go about doing things, and it's a proper way to go about doing business. At no job that I've ever decided to leave from did I ever leave on bad terms. In no relationship that I've ever left from, whether it be a networking opportunity or whether it be, anything that happens with regard to different women that I've talked to prior to getting married or anything like that, I've never, ever, ever beefed or had any kind of problem or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just an amicable time for me to go. And anybody that's a part of the Patreon know that one of the things that I say in the Patreon is about a 3-year mark. Between 3 and 4 years into anything, you have to start getting the itch and you have to start reevaluating where it is that you are. Whether you at a job, whether you're in a situation or whatever, at that point is when you start to evaluate what it was that you've done, what it was that you've built, how many projects you got under your belt, what happens after this point. And so as a result, it's just time. But with that being said, let me say this. While I was in the Dominican Republic, I did have an opportunity to also talk to my people over at Rumble. Rumble is saying that they're going to roll out the red carpet for me. And so as a result, I will be transitioning a lot of the content, both now, past, and in the future, over into Rumble. So I will be getting that Rumble bag. So over the next 2 months, you will see a transition of content or an uploading of content moving over into that platform. We will be embracing what it is that we see happening at Rumble. Thank you to the people over at Rumble for making sure that they accommodate me and ensuring that everything is absolutely awesome. I love you guys. You have a great platform, and we are going to do some awesome things. But we're still going to be doing what it is that we do over here on YouTube. So as far as YouTube, nothing changes. We're still going to be live streaming. We're still going to be taking care of business. We got new deals on the table. We got new sponsorships on the table. If you guys want to, make sure that you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We will be discussing different opportunities and different things that's happening that I have coming up. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what's going to be happening going forward. So thank you to my friends over at Rumble. Thank you to my friends over at Teach Hanley for even entertaining the idea of renegotiating what it is that I'm doing over here at the Millionaire Morning Show and the Anton Daniels channel. Thank you to all of you guys for continuing to rock with me and ensuring that we absolutely positively are in a great space. I believe that the Lapeef Network and Lapeef Let's Talk will be successful, and they will continue to do great things, and everything will absolutely be awesome. I wish them absolutely the best of luck. I think that they have a great product on there. I think that they have solid footing and great leadership. Shout out to JR. Shout out to everybody that participates on the platform. I think that these, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. But it's time for me to continue to grow. So after the show, you will slowly start to see the links inside of the description for you guys to be able to tap into the different platforms in which I have that I'm going to be launching on Rumble. So that is to come. Make sure y'all tap into my Instagram and my Twitter to stay updated because I tweet all the time. And everything is going to be absolutely awesome. Everything is going to be awesome. So that's the skinny of it. It's no issues. There's no problems. There's no trouble. Y'all don't have to always beef when y'all decide to go in different directions and stuff like that. Y'all don't always have to have problems or animosity or it spills out. Sometimes it's just a growth thing, right? I had a conversation. Somebody called me over the weekend while I was at the airport because I was stuck at the airport trying to get back into Detroit, right? And they said, Anton, I can't believe that y'all moving in different directions and you're not going to be showing up and stuff like that. I said, hold on. I said, it's not a problem. He said, oh, it's not a problem? Y'all so used to toxicity. Y'all so used to things playing out negatively publicly that y'all don't understand what it takes in order to be successful and how to move as a business person. And so I told him, I said, let me break it down to you like this. I said, you got a brother? Or I said, have you ever, lived with somebody, a cousin or a brother that you ever lived with? They say, yeah. I said, is they still your brother? He said, yeah. He said, I said, well, listen. I said, as y'all grow up, he gets married, you get married, y'all move in different directions, you get a family. It don't mean that y'all not brothers anymore. It just means that y'all lives are growing in different directions. He said, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's all it is. People grow and they don't always grow in the same direction. Some people go that way. Some people go that way. Some people get married. Some people decide that they want to move overseas. That's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. So I know y'all looking for something a little bit more spicy. I'm sorry. I don't have anything else to say. I don't have any negativity to say. I don't have any cocktails to throw at anybody. I don't have anybody to throw under the bus. I don't have anything for you. I'm sorry. We made history. We did great things. We went through things. We went through losing a platform. We went through doing a lot of different stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just time to move on. That's it. Nothing major. So shout out to my friends. I will be updating y'all and keeping y'all up to date on what's going on with regard to the transition and moving a lot of the different content, especially Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom content over to Rumble. I also have some incredible shows and some incredible ideas that we bring into fruition. And I'm making an incredible investment. So a lot of the bags that I'm getting, I'm using it to reinvest back into the platforms and into the shows. Life is good. Life is absolutely awesome.